Oh. Where am I? Alright, it's the place I was at before I woke up in the cave. I can't see anything or anyone. Still, it's strangely fulfilling. I'll go meet him. One version of Aztecs, it states that the dead are divided between those who die in battle and those who die in a natural death. Those who die in battle are led to the 12th of the 13th heaven, the paradise of Teto-kin. In the east of Teto-kin is the Telotazalampa, where both those who die in battle, as well as those who are ritually sacrificed, are headed after death. In the west of Teto-kin is Chiotulampa, where women who die in childbirth are headed after death. In the south of Teto-kin is the realm of radiance, Tsulampa, where children are headed after death. In the north of the Teto-kin is Michilampa, the realm of the stillness and rest. The god who rules Michilampa is Tezcatlipoca, the god war and death, the almighty deathbringer and demander of sacrifices. In contrast, the underworld exists divided into 9 layers. Here the souls of the people who died a natural death undergo trials to be whipped into shape so they will become strong enough to return to the ordinary world. It is known as Mictlan, though the one from Panhamnian history. It is the realm of Willy God, Mictlan Kuhutil, and his wife, Michitekelahuto. These are the only gods of death who are associated purely with death and nothing else. For the people of Mesoamerica, the world of death was always near, and as such, all gods were associated with it. Life is something for which death will inevitably come. How this death is entered and overcome is in the discretion of each individual god. Seeing from that perspective, there is no god as difficult to understand as Tezcatlipoca. As a god of war, he seeks warriors who are victorious in battle, for battle is the greatest thing of all. However, the souls of warriors are not led to this realm, but rather Tehuzetlampa in the east. These souls are the seed of wars, and yet it is another god who receives the harvest of souls. The realm of stillness and the rest, Michilampa, the parasite of Tezcatlipoca. Presently, it's not clear which of the dead were beckoned into this realm. All we know for certain is that it is not an underworld, such as Mictlan or Chilaba. Perhaps it is the case that all those who were beckoned to this realm went through a battle worth a rest. And that's how it went down. Katia sought the ore to Tezcatlipoca. The future you saw faded into phantasmagoria. Those who speak lies ought to be punished, be they god or not. I'll go get Quetzalcoatl. His realm was in the west, if I'm not mistaken. Anything but birdie. Goddamn Makana, come on man. My skull's gonna feel it forever. That thing's worse than any hangover for real. Besides, I wasn't lying, or did this for Mictlan, yeah. I might embellish what happened afterwards just a little bit, but just didn't have enough of a budget to see it through, you know? And we got a visitor. Seems who you've been waiting for is here, David. David. I wasn't exactly waiting for him. I was thinking it was maybe 50%. It's just a detour anyway. Come on, of course he'd come. He gotta take back the weapon he pawned off of me to me. Well, if he wants to be a master from here on out, that is, ain't that right, boy? I'll take my master rights back with me to my own world. Wait, Tizakalapoka. Yuki master rights hasn't been returned yet? He was able to summon at least. Well, summoning, sure. With his command spell, he managed to utilize the underworld borders and turn the bonds he made up until then into weapons. I gave these command spells to Kamazotz, and it's certainly true that Yuki took them back from him. However, I never gave away the master rights. I've had them on me ever since I bought them. Which means he wasn't in perfect fighting form. Thinking about it, I did feel there was something lacking given he was the man who saved the world. Great, let's fight. We're in Mictlan, the realm of neither life nor death. Here the debt you incurred to return to life doesn't hold any sway. You can fight in the perfect form as a master. The winner is returned to life. The winner has their payment returned. In your case, that will be your command spells. As for me, what would that be, Tizakalapoka? Of course, to be coming back to life and trying again. Hell, might as well take us back to the way to time you summoned me. And then you better make damn sure Ord destroys the planet, though second time comes with Chaldea included, obviously. I'd have to do that year over again, all 500, 600 minutes? No, that's not quite right. I don't mind, it's only a period of about 30 hours. Why would you go such lengths to destroy Earth? Strange question asks, we're the same, you and I. It's not our responsibility, we're doing it because we want to. Self-satisfaction, I suppose. What kind of crazed warrior would be trying to shatter Earth out of self-satisfaction? Guess the two of you really are birds of a feather. So be it, whoever wins this battle will be banished from my realm. This is the last rite of passage Aztec mythology has. Give it your all. As long as you do that, I won't mock whoever the loser may turn out to be. Those who flee, those who dare not kill, and those who doubt their cause, I will never unlock such cowards as warriors. Your hatred of death is excessive. Nevertheless, given how long you survive on the convictions, I have no choice but to acknowledge you. Man of Chaldea, if your soul is that of a warrior, then it is the warriors that should respond. I welcome all warriors. For the Aztec, the glory is only granted to victorious warriors, something I too endorse, however. I also have both winners and losers. Efforts, bravery, and determinations of losers are not reflected in such an arrangement. And that's something I cannot overlook, for those who die in battle ought to be rewarded equally. As such, mine is the realm of the defeated. It welcomes the souls of those who fought bravely, yet were tragically defeated, destined to be forgotten by all. These are the ones who feats I acknowledge, and so I grant them the rest and peace they are worthy of. So which one will it be, Yuki? Will you lose, pass over the paradise beyond the horizon, and so earn your rest? Or will you win and return your battle once more? This is true from the battle of Destroy Mictlan. If you're victorious, the 7th Lostbelt will be gone for good. Together with the Son of Dawn, Nahui Wulan, the 5th son, the story of Mictlan will come to a close. Show me your resolve. It's time for you to choose between life and death on your own terms. Regardless of what he chooses, whether he can attain it or not is not a different story. I put him to rest. Chaldea excess abuse of human order won't be good enough against the alien god. Chaldeus, no, Mare Spirit is not an enemy of mankind. Mare Spirit is the enemy of the universe, and if I'm the only one who can manage to see that, then by destroying the planet, I will make sure that the bad name that would befall humanity never happens. You would save the world, I will save the universe. Even our objectives of saving mankind is the same. As long as our methods are different, we will have to confront each other. Ready yourself, Yuki. Neither of us have a handicap now. I hereby challenge you to a battle, not as a character, but as a master. Besides, this will be the last time. Let us see how it will be carried out, the battle I simulate so many times in that coffin. Avenger. The final battle.
"死ぬことはなく、生まれることはなく、回帰することはなく、ここに人理の保証はなく、神は虚空にある。その名はカルデアス。異性の神、カルデアス。
古きルール、承知。サラソージュの花のすなわちこの世の摂理を知るがいい。諸行無常、超過喫水。ホムラよ、ここに。
いいね、とてもいい。真昼の太陽、そそ合う秋、テスカトリポカ。
テスカトヒアウィトル。
いざ源氏死にそうらえ。神なれば死なず。応殺開始。そうか。熱い熱い。なんだと。確かこうか。サラソージュの花のすなわちこの世の摂理を知るがいい。諸行無常、超過喫水。もろいもろい。
力はためて夜明けの太陽。
いいね、とてもいい。カーメン。
古きルール。承知。お任せを。で秋
力はためていく。煙る鏡、ややうき、テスカトリポカ。
ヒアウィトル。チェカトカーメン。
承知。お任せを。サラソージュの花のすなわちこの世の摂理を知るがいい。諸行無常、超過喫水。兄上、兄上。
明快であれば同じ。
Hello, Chris.
9つの地下世界、12の恐怖を太陽の
Hello
統合する。エスカトリポが
どれにしよう。誰か足を。
Ah, no. Tom. HP too low.
神なれば。お参りしていきます。日向の火薬の匂い。光が熱に。
Maybe don't eat though.
お任せを。熱い。どこも熱い。儚きは罪。この世はなべて散りあくた。我が王貴様を捕らえたと。諸行無常、調査必須。ハブに
カーメンテスカト
いざ源氏死にそうらえ。死なず好き放題扱ってあげましょう。王様お任せを。儚きは罪。この世はなべて散りあくた。我が王貴様を捕らえたと。諸行無常、調査必須。
さあさあさあ。
It just revive. Oh no.
「恩の一文字転換受けてみるか。
雷雲猿螺旋究極の一我こそ最後の太陽ラストサン縛れば
サラソウジュの花のすなわちこの世の摂理を知るがいい。諸行無常、調査必須。
人理の保証など初めからない。
思い出す。呼び覚ませ。始まりの世界。ナウイを
Go damage.
黒い火。閉まるな。
神、兄上。
捧げなさい。器がある。
Sujo. You need to do enough damage before he revives. 유조 이거 너지. Okay, switch to arts. time to try again.
死ぬことはなく、生まれることはなく、回帰することはなく、ここに人理の保証はなく、神は虚空にある。その名はカルデアス、異性の神カルデアス。
感度でも味わいまし美しき欲の花。熱を帯びなさい、マルミアドワーズ。燃えるなら欲望のままに誇りにかけて。マーラ・シューニャター。欲の残るは熱。聖願だ。単独してください。そこです。感度でも味わいましょう。やだね。要請接続。燃えるなら邪魔お任せあれと。愛の世界、燃える宇宙、望むすべてが花弁となる。まあシューニャター。愛は痛いもの。夏は燃えるもの。菩提寺の下に愛の。
真昼の太陽注ぐわき。
Yep, last battle. JP-rKyECtnz battle.
いいね、とてもいい。シェカトカー
燃えるな邪魔です。負けないぞ。愛の世界、燃える宇宙、望むすべてが花弁となる。まあシューニャター。単独してください。
テスカトヒアウィトルシェカト。
I need to be aware of the HP.
お任せあれと。燃えお任せあれないぞ。たまにはノリノリでいっちゃいますか。夏の堕落を今あなたにギュンギュンギュン。
Guard.
単独してください。ここで
おごるな、騙す。見えすいている。いいな、とてもいい。
運命をかけた戦いであれば。お任せあれ。対終末、対粛清防具。愛は痛いもの。違法の国、時の終わり。慣れた剣は彼の手。霊言なる勝利を刻め。ラウンドオブアーマロン。それはいつか来る兆しの星。誰に呼ばれるまでもなく、あなたは星をかざすでしょう。アラウンドクリバーン。
あとに気をびてるええ方。遡るか、命の源泉。来たれ。デスカトルゲストランパー。ヒアウィトル。
Now one turn.
もじゃ欲望のままに。たまにはノリノリでいっちゃいますか。
感激してください。うつろなる堕落の形、菩提寺の下に愛の早立てです。軽いよう隙を突かれました。
気合いとる。
南の原さん清めたの南の日差し恵みとなら地元の準備してあるの。お任せあれと邪魔です。さてさて、はい、感激してください。豊足原に
Go last bar before he loses all his HP.
テスカトリポか。
Decided to time it correctly.
甘露でも味わいましょう。美しき欲の花、果てに欲望のままに愛の世界、燃える宇宙、望むすべての家電となるまあ終型。
さあさあさあ。
Tamamo doesn't do anything.
果てに愛がないとでも。この世にはびこる念の邪みそぎ払うは我がしず。私全開でご奉仕いたします。すぐにここに見参。あれはいつか見た終わりの星。どれほど遠く汚れても私は星を探すのです。さあ幕を開けてアラウンドカリバーン。愛の世界、燃える宇宙、望むすべての家電となるまあ終型。
There we go. That's how you beat him. Lockjaw! Yay! Sure enough, if we fight his master, you don't come out on top. Also, how could I had no servants outside of Tezcatlipoca? Shouldn't the almighty god at least have some followers? I would have hoped you at least being able to chain summon Jaguar Man or something. Either way, the outcome was clear. The loser should make a hasty exit. Was Ort really the only way you could fight the alien god? It was. I'm not able to build up trust with others like you are. After I joined the A-team and understood the truth behind Chaldeus, it was already too late. The completed Chaldeus is a planet unto itself, nobody can destroy it. I tried to friend Mirror Spirit into stopping his plan, but he took his own life instead. All he said, my life, or securing the human order, which one should I protect? What a silly question. At that moment, I had no choice but to play along with his plans if I wanted to be able to destroy Chaldeus. I couldn't do it as an outsider. My projection was that the chance to destroy it would only befall those who stayed part of Chaldea until the end. In other words, you people, I chose to remain as a character, but We could have thought that a new Chaldea would fight against the old Chaldea. Novan Chaldea was it? Not a bad name. Wait, David. Don't stop him. You're really trying to rob the loser of even his right to leave the stage? Come on, just see him off, alright? But right now, couldn't be anyone more worthy than Mictlan. Don't worry, my period is kind of like the spa of dreams and all, but it ain't forever. After he rested, I'll have him get back into battle, and then he'll actually be on the winner's side. Basically just a stop off on the road, this place. Want to prepare you for the next battle, yay. Wait, my master raids aren't back yet. Oh yeah, right, I forgot. Here, they are yours. I bought them off you in this form, so you know. Seems appropriate I give them back to you in it too. See, yeah, I'll be off now too. Real shame we had to be enemies this time around. But no, maybe it was better we were actually. I ain't nobody for patience. Had we been allies, I'd been put a bullet through your skull as soon as you turn away from me. Basically, I'm a guy who takes sides of everyone in battle. Now here, I bet on Davis especially. Because you know, had one hell of a scope to what he wanted to wreck. I'm a guy who sees countries destroyed more times than I can count. So, well, can't help but be excited at that. But don't get the wrong idea. There ain't no battle in which everything is destroyed. You did put an end to Mictlan, but you sure didn't destroy it. You heard extinction is something that repeats in Aztec mythologies. Yeah? Then you should also know that something comes back to life afterwards. Even if countries and civilization are destroyed, there is a thing that lives on, and that nobody can get rid of. And what that is? Records. It is time. I know you people think the same. Think time as something you measure that accumulates. That's it. God's significant just because of that. But even if you or your countries are destroyed, time will never disappear. Humans usually have this idea that they are passengers for time. But actually, time's the passenger and humans are kind of like a river that carries it forth. You better put this into memory, Yuki. Humans aren't the only ones who whittle away at time. There is the time observed by humanity, the time recorded by machines. The time that wears away antimatter, the time that cools down the planet. So long as they stay around, our world is indestructible. It has no end, even if things disappear, and then even if this planet loses a purpose. Time will always keep going forward towards the future. Finally won against the last battle.
黒きテスカトリポカは終わりだ。俺は炎と未来を見る者。あらゆる困難に挑み、死を前にして踊る者どもよ。俺の楽園はお前たちを歓迎しよう。まあ、この辺りが頃合いか。旅の途中だが、少し休め。時期を分けだ。満足のいく戦いだったか？足りない？それは結構。どんな勝利であれ、どんな勝者であれ、人間である以上は道半ばだ。やりきるなんてことはない。残った未練は俺が聞く。安心して目を閉じればいい。うん？そっちこそ最後は清掃じゃないのかって？はあ。黒だの赤だの青だの、自分を安売りしているがね。今はこの姿が一番のお気に入りだ。 なんだよ、気づいてなかったのか。初対面の時に決めてきてやっただろう。あの時から最後まで付き合うと決めてたのさ。
Last chapter. The epilogue. Are you weak, senpai? I just woke up as well. The battle in the 7th Lostbelt has concluded. We were taken to the medical bay after collapsing on the deck. I just finished 1 hour check of your vitals while you were sleeping. It's neither you have shown any abnormalities, and no solar damage from the cosmic radiation. You can go back to your rooms with peace of mind. Your belongings and mystic codes are waiting there. But first, the control rooms. Commander Gordov has asked for you. Understood, and thank you, nurse. Not at all. The reason I can conduct these medical treatments is because the two of you have fought. To keep the Stormborder safe and sound, please hold your heads up high on your way to the control room. Oh, but take care not to overdo it. Your strength has returned, but the gist of your fate still remains. Make sure you get a good night rest once your debriefing with the commander is finished, alright? Yes, thank you so much for the treatment, if you excuse us. Your medical exams are finally over. It seems that nothing is amiss then. I wasn't worried about your welfare at all, unlike the rest of the staff. They should get out of their systems before I issue my proclamations to the all at hand. Not this again, just who was it again that was requesting updates every 5 minutes from the medical bay? I'm sure we weren't the only ones constantly listening for reports from the medical bay. Weren't you, Kadok? Please me out of it, Curelight aside. Why would I bother worrying about Yuki? He's just going to stroll in anyway with the oblivious look on his face. There's no point worrying about his magic circuits. Here, we're all connected to Nurse 2, so there's no need to even open the Cum 9. That goes for Captain 2. Obviously not part of the club. I don't know the first thing about working machines. But if Mash is safe, then isn't it obvious that Yuki must be too? That's why I kept a stiff up leopard lip, right, Full? Full would have to know. Indirect evidence is really something. Everyone's getting their turn to prove the point. So the only one fidgeting around about this is like a kid was the old man, right? Are you keeping up your ridiculous ensemble even at a time like this? None of you even making eye contact. Honestly, then it means I was only who didn't have faith. Faith in what? You Ogomari, whose signature disappeared with firing of ray proof, as well as the alien god's true colors. We had to discuss important matters upon your awakening. I had my reservation on whether you both be too emotionally scared to get back to your feet. It's hard to believe you look the same as ever. Our master has become remarkably tough. No, Commander Gordov, that isn't the case. It's because everyone stayed the same that Senpai and I can keep moving forward the way we do. That is true. I see, well then, I'll take charge of things. The fancy tree of the 7th Lostbelt has been purged, and the geological strata where the underground world was located has normalized. As for the Cryptor Daybit Semvoid as well as his servant Tizkala Polka, we confirmed the vanishing of both their signatures some time ago. With this, the pruning of the 7th Lostbelt is judged to be complete. Mission accomplished. Well done as always, to one and all. However, no sooner have we realized the pruning of every Lostbelt are we first before a new challenge. The alien world is Chaldeus. In order to verify the truth behind the words David left behind, the Summer hereby sets course for the Antarctic and for Chaldeus base. For all of you, I'm sure it will be like revisiting an old home. However, I would hope you all brace yourselves duly for it. This may only be my hunch, but the answers to all our mystery must be in Antarctica. What purpose do the fantasy trees serve? What was accomplished by bleaching the earth? And what was the true intent of the late director Merisperi Anuspear and have creating Chaldeus? Whatever the facts may be, what we need to accomplish has not changed. The future of pan-human history rests on our shoulders. We of Novum Chaldea shall bring to light to the mysteries of Chaldea. Hooray! A fine show of spirit. I'm quite proud of myself as a commander. But wait a moment, shouldn't everyone be early exhausted from the all-out battle against Ort? I should say that I'm about to burn out. My body and my mind simply need rest. Why don't we merely take a break? The body is a temple after all. Okay, the Marines have all retired to their quarters. The Stormboarder can stand by for a while in this sector on autopilot. I should join to the captain's quarters as well, Yuki. Shouldn't you be on your way to the cafeteria? I expect Mash and the others are waiting on you. Yeah, first things first. This is for you, Captain. What is it? Oh, you see. Please wait at the border while I prepare for the journey. We can meet at the gate. I've never gone beyond the 10th layer. I very much look forward to the next adventure together. Nice, one more thing. I have a small favor to ask. This is for Captain Nemo, a soccer ball I crafted for Marine. I thought I should set it aside as a memento, but it's likely I shall never return here again. My feelings were that I had done something inconsiderate to Marine, but now it is too late. I mustn't forget the trust he showed me, or the support he lent me. Most of all, I mustn't forget the strength he showed at the very end. So please, I will ask that you hand this over on my behalf. Though we were from different worlds and different humanities, we shared in each other's smiles as proof of our friendship. Captain. No, it's nothing. Don't mind me. I'm probably just looking a little more miserable than normal. It's okay, I calmed down, so that's what Tifu left for you. I'll take it gratefully. I don't know much about it, but Marines do love football. Go on to the cafeteria. I'll join you as soon as I finish my rounds. Sure, I'll see you then. No, I won't forget it. Even if your people, worlds, and this gift have to disappear along with this Lostbelt. Your 60 million journey under Earth, a paradise more peaceful and lush than any other. Very well, wise Tipu. On my behalf, thank you for sharing in those smiles. What a surprise! I'm honored to have you see me off, Romani Arkaman. If mankind is able to excise all 7 Lostbelts, then I will finally acknowledge you as an enemy. So how do you feel now that your words have been fulfilled? Even if the enemy you mentioned came to mean an enemy of Chaldeus in this case. Indeed, I was wondering whether or not those who bear the name Chaldea could see Chaldeus as their enemies. I thought it would be impossible. It's in nature of humans to conceal the darker sides of their organizations. However, they do not seem to be the Chaldea I know. This Novum Chaldea. I suppose they are a brand new human order security organization, one meant to demolish Mary's Grand Order. I see, there's a grim state of affairs. The alien world's plan was only ever to have them excise all of the Lostbelts. Never had I thought that a rival organization would be formed after the fact. I must make haste in order to seek instructions from the alien world. Are you not going to try to recover the alien god you lost? As far as I could tell, even if her syncgraph had shattered into pieces, some small parts of it did remain. If you managed to scrunch up all of it, you would be able to restore her, even if only as a defective and soulless shell of her form self. That would not be my task. Personally, I think it would be the best to let her rest, but... let's see... were it up to the other available apostle, the Count, then he would put her to cruel use. So there really were 7 apostles of the alien world. Free to monitor and supervise characters on the Lostbelt side, the Prize Brighter, the Atlas Slayer, and the Evil Incarnate. Free to monitor and guide Chaldea, the Detective, the Professor, and the Count. And lastly, the God, their leader. Even if McNamara herself likely did not know that she was actually a servant. There's no need for her to know. She was nothing more than an unpredictable god born on the alien world. For her to die heroically without ever knowing the truth surely must have served as some measure of salvation. Raising words coming from someone who induced her to do so. In any case, there are 2 apostles left, including you. Can you stop Chaldea? That goes without saying. I wouldn't have let this ship leave so easily otherwise. But then again, it's not our place to stop them. They themselves are their own stumbling block. If they cannot reckon with what they accumulate so far, they would surely be put judgment by the human order itself. Cosmos Dania. Now I can go to Bond 9. We will soon enter the Antarctic Circle. Try make us to estimate that there won't be any danger for about a day. Which is to say, there is absolutely no interference from Chaldea, from any forces expected until we reach Chaldea base in Antarctica. Thank you, Chris. I expect all crew members to remain adequately focused and prepare for our arrival at the Antarctic. The time has come. Return to Chaldea's base. Could I have a word before then? Though it's a separate matter to what we've now identified as alien world of Chaldeas, but anyway. My analysis of subject E is complete. Would you like to hear the report Commander Gordov? Right, we did have that question remaining as well. The amount of incomprehensible facts increasing even further does bother me, but things won't get better by refusing to listen. You're permitted to deliver your report, but make it quick. First, I'll start with the information we were able to analyze. We've now learned that the mysterious facility that our investigation team Yuki, Mash, and Cuddle enter is. Actually a research facility that exists in our world as well. Its purpose was to research some kind of outer space originating object that has been secretly brought into Area 51 Nevada. Should update the title. Okay. We weren't able to examine the more intricate equipment, but according to the information recorded by Mash Ortinis, the place is a 99% match with what Trimagus calculates to be an Area 51 research facility, which is say that the facility which Subject E was located is a place which has its origins in pan-human history. Yeah, I guess that adds up. That building felt really out of place for a location in the large-scale singularity. It wouldn't be odd to assume that the singularity came into being with that operating room as its epicenter. Yep, I'm the same opinion. It ties into questions of what kind of person Master was. Given the massive number of servants that were summoned in the singularity. In my opinion, it was only the operating room that was from pan-human history. Rather, was from a planet exceeding close to that of pan-human history. A facility located within the Nevadan side of Chaldeus, or maybe I'm pushing this conclusion too far. Wait, if only that facility was part of Chaldeus, then does that mean the cosmic looking corridor was actually moving us between the different worlds? Most likely yes. There is this thing known as substitution magecraft in the world of magecraft. For instance, let's say we have Gordov A and Gordov B here. In the case that they have the exact same makeup and information load, they could swap places no matter how distant they are to one another. And how come? Well, obvious because from a third party point of view, they aren't different in the slightest. Only the substitute people will know that they've been swapped it. Actually, depending on the circumstance, not even they would know. Magecraft works best when something supernatural happens, but the world can't notice the difference. It's magecraft. That is thought to be practically possible at least. The larger the object, the more difficult it is, however. I'm very certain I heard it was being researched by some old lineage that doesn't affiliate with the clock tower. Also, I appreciate you didn't use me as the example there. If A or B got attached to the end of my name all of a sudden, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night anymore. Substitution swapping. So the reason Earth was suddenly bleached could have been because the surface of Earth and the surface of Chaldeus were swapped. After all, miniature or not, Chaldeus is indeed an identical entity to the Earth, created by copying its soul, right? The different size isn't a big issue. As long as the information content and makeup of their souls are the same, swapping them is possible. Honestly, more so than the nature of the bleached Earth. The way it was carried out was always the more mysterious part. Because it's impossible to destroy the entirety of the Earth civilization in an instant without harming the planet itself. But if instead it was swapped out for something that had already been bleached, then wouldn't have it to hurt it. Right, which tells us that for Chaldeus, our world, Earth, is still completely unhurt. Meaning that as long as we restore the relationship between Chaldeus and Earth to normal, your future will once again proceed as normal. Everything will go back to normal, huh? When the Earth was bleached, human history stopped it at 2017, so we would just go back to operation normally as it was before. Wait, Chaldeus simulates the Earth as it is 100 years in the future. In that case, the facility would be one from 2117. But when you think about it from that perspective, it's like you're wondering why the facility was built using the same technology as found in 2017. Basically, wouldn't that be too old? That bothered me as well. I may have realized that the room was part of Chaldeus' interior, but you couldn't have using cutting-edge technology from 117. However, according to the data, Subject E time's death was just a few days prior. If that room was Chaldeus, then Subject E is his being. Died in 2117. And yet the level of technology there was the same as ours in 2017. I was afraid I wasn't able to explain anything if I didn't solve the contradictions, but could it simply be that? Spot on, it seems false, or even planned like a complete nonsense, but that's correct. The fact that there is 100 years, this purity remains, and so we have no choice but to assume that the equipment could be upgraded. Is that like really so likely? Let's just assume that there were some circumstance that forced it to be like that, such as the lack of budget or personnel. In pan-human history, the top secret facility, Area 51, had been long since closed down since around 2001. The research budget they received from the government was cut off. In similar fashion, the facility on the Earth of Chaldeus must have most likely ran into some kind of problem. Well, I won't deny the possibility. After all, securing a budget is a top priority, and yet also the most difficult task for the researchers. However, a massive distinction to be made between the facility found on Earth and the one in Chaldeus. I'm mostly talking about Subject E, given that this life form actually existed there. The facility on Earth, Chaldeus, must have accomplished something. The one in pan-human history did not. In which case, it'd be logical to think the opposite happened, and it injected with enough funding to run a country. As I said, ran into some kind of problem. The reason itself isn't important, so let's keep going, okay? The remains we discovered in the operating room had the exact same biological composition as that of us humans. And despite that, Tragmaeus 2 did not deem those remains to be that of an Earthling. Not because it wasn't, but because it couldn't. His bios were identical yet different all the same. Because of this logic error, Tragmaeus 2 could not give a conclusive answer to what Subject E was. At the very last stage of his calculations, I managed to apply the label of human to do it, before freezing. As such, I put the conclusion on hold, and asked it to just analyze the situation. When I did, the information lined up immediately. First finding Subject E was a human from Earth, of Chaldeus. Second finding of the bleached Earth is Chaldeus, surfaced, then the mankind of Chaldeus have already perished. Third finding equipment used in the research facility of Chaldeus Earth was antique, therefore all technology developed in the 100-year span of 2017 to 2117 has become malfunctional. This is something that can be deduced from the structure that still remains on the bleached Earth. If there are machines that would operate on the bleached Earth, they would be antiques from 100 years prior. Something like a motorcycle or some such that uses simple combustion engines, perhaps. That is all which can be realized from Subject E. With that in mind, if we want to ask ourselves why Subject E become a master, why he summoned that many serpents, and why large-scale singularity came into being, then it could only be revenge. The earth of Chaldeus was bleached. Who knows how exactly, but we know the reason why. It was bleached in order to prepare for the swap between our earth and the Chaldeus, and that of Chaldeus. Subject E knew this, and that's why he applied the impulse for revenge on his servants. Basically, retribution against those who brought his world to ruin, retribution against pan-human history. Subject E was fully aware that he was the last of all mankind. Being the last person left in Chaldeus, Earth, essentially made him their representative of mankind. In fact, it'd be impossible if that wasn't the case, considering the number of servants involved. Summoning that many servants is impossible for a single individual. The will of the dead people of Chaldeus Earth made it possible to summon such a massive number of servants. The bizarre number of command spells makes the perfect sense then. Those were probably command spells of the people of the Earth of Chaldeus who had the potential to be master. And that corpse. It must have been someone like a nameless nobody who was saddened with mankind's future. Wait, but that is... You obtained the information on Subject E. It is Chaldea's own job to analyze what Subject E is, but I can kick a freebie or two. That is no life form native to the Earth. It is the remains of creatures who spent a century in the laboratory, concealed, examined, and experimented on. I believe that its death froze calls akin the alien god. Wait. Whatever happened on the Earth of Chaldeus is unfortunate, but it's not something we can do anything about. There's no need for us to feel any guilt over it. Right now we need to establish a proper timeline. If I remember correctly, there was documentation that by the time of 2015, when our Yuki here arrived at Chaldea, Chaldeus has already entered a state where the future mankind could not be observed. Had Chaldeus already been bleached by this point, how does that work? No, it hadn't. Sure, Singularity F happened. The light of civilization had faded here and there, but the surface of Chaldeus was the same as that of Earth's. It was Sheba which announced that the security of the human history couldn't be observed beyond 2016. That's something we can vouch for. And given what would come after, Sheba was right. Whether it was the incineration of the human order or bleaching, there was no future. The Earth of Chaldeus was probably bleached after the incineration had been resolved. Though it does not mean we were tricked by Chaldeus when we were in the middle of dealing with a special circumstance of 2017. So basically Chaldeus was in perfect order before the rayship experiment of 2015. Rather, it had been revealed as malicious true colors. Which means it is possible to assume that Solomon's human order incineration was unexpected, that if that hadn't happened, Chaldeus was arranged to cause this current state of affairs at the end of 2017. Solomon, or more accurate Gaetia, happened to throw a wrench into Mare's berry plans by accident. So perhaps the plan to swap Chaldeus and Earth was delayed by the emergency of Singularity F. Oh, I see. The explosion in the control room wasn't part of former director's Mare's berry plan after all. As such, it helped to create a strange situation that came about afterwards, the one we currently have on our hands. It is Ogomari. When Lev Lemire threw her into Chaldeus, something must have surely gone wrong somewhere. That's all the information I can disclose about Subject E. Through this realizing, we uncover about 80% of what purpose behind Chaldeus' creation is. It is to swap out Earth, or more accurately mankind. The objective of the former person who created Chaldeus, former director Mesiah and his spear, was to turn Earth into what we see before us. So then the next thing we then think about is what exactly would he have gained by doing that? Yeah, bleaching the earth. Sure is a thinker that one, neither me nor JP-rKyECtnz have been able to come up with an answer to his question. Gaiety wished for life without death, a planet without death. Criteria wished for it, the advancement of mankind. And Debate tried to destroy the entire Earth together with JP-rKyECtnz for sake of, in his own words, the good name of the Earthlings. Even if we couldn't symbolize with them, they all had understandable motives. The bleaching of the Earth, on the other hand, just doesn't make sense. I can't see what the ultimate goal here is. They just give up on mankind, perhaps, you know, wipe out mankind and purify Earth. Marisbury wasn't that kind of person. He wasn't nihilist or pessimist. He was a genuine magus who delighted in mankind's prosperity and desired the advancement of learning. Makes sense. If he hadn't been that kind of person, then King Solomon wouldn't have answered his summons and cooperated with him during the Holy Grail War in Fuiki. Marisbury was most certainly an honest and respected magus, however. Honest and respected comes in all sorts of kinds, much in the same fashion as they did. Marisbury objectives must be something where the logic is so extreme you cannot conceive of it as honest and respectable. Maybe so, he was a lord from the clock tower after all. His standard of what constitutes prosperity must be far different from how we imagine it. Yet we now been able to establish only that our Earth is fine and what the condition JP-rKyECtnz is like. Everything will become clear to us at the Antarctic. Nemo, how long until we arrive? Excellent timing, we will now be entering into the Antarctic. Nothing which would obstruct our events can be observed. We now proceed towards JP-rKyECtnz's bait. The asteroid changed course. There's a barrier, alerting all crew to brace for impact. What is going on? She didn't even alert us. No hostile reading or any gravitation field emerged either. And yet we were still repelled. Was it pressure high enough to push back the stormboarder or something? Damn, I knew it wouldn't be so simple. Is the alien god or rather JP-rKyECtnz attacking us? Techno advisor, opinions please. That's the thing, there's no activity coming from the Antarctic. This barrier has nothing to do with it. Lowest and Aaron, this is in all likelihood the wall of the human order. I know about this kind of protection. It's like a heroic spirit Galahad, no offense, Lord Camelot. It's the same force powering this wall. The Antarctic is being protected by the securing of the human order. We now circled all around the Antarctic, but the barrier covers every single spot of it. Neither assault via stormboarder dimensional penetration nor inclusion via stormboarder zero still are viable. The exact reason is known, but no matter what we do, we are repelled. This is the first time I run into such an obnoxious barrier. It lacks a physical form. To mean it cannot be destroyed either. Trying to use special kinds of navigation gets them cancelled. I don't have a slightest clue what the logic behind this thing is. How frustrating, our destination is right in front of our nose and yet we can't even get close. Techno advisor Shion, is there nothing we can do? Isn't it about time you got done with that analysis you're so proud of? No way at all, I don't have the slightest idea either. What even is this? Are we being humiliated or something? Yep, get close and it appears, go back and it disappears. And for all it refuses to let us through, it still inflicts basically no damage on us. It is also impossible to observe where it's getting all its energy from. Not even the walls of storms were this bad. It was the same as Lord Camelot then. Naturally, with the 7 Lostbelt exiles, JP-rKyECtnz has become the keystone of human history, the celestial spear of the human order assurance. That wall is not protecting JP-rKyECtnz, it is more like a migration checkpoint which refuses to admit the fortune. The Antarctic isn't obstructing you, you yourselves are repelling pan-human history. This voice. Hey, look on deck. Romantic Aquaman. Marine picked up his voice. Understood, redirecting cameras. Beyond here lies the domain of the complete pan-human history. You cannot trespass upon it as you are now. Not something I'm expecting either, but throughout your battles up until now, you have made excess use of things that aren't from pan-human history. Servants from outside of the 7 class, rulers, alter egos, and avengers. As a result of using such an ordinary and impossible classes, you are now being perceived as fortunate entities. If you do not correct this distortion, it will be impossible for you to approach Caudius. You can't bring those classes into your future beyond 2017. Actually, that's not quite right. You won't be able to bring them with you with your current perception. Yuki, the gears turning within you are out of sync. Why do these ordinary impossible attributes exist? Exactly how ought their weapons and their characters be service to human history? Once you're understood and assess this, fortuneness will surely be no more. Turn your ship around Nova Caudia. The regions of your distortions, where you'll come to reckon with the sins you committed when unaware, are most definitely to be found. Ordeal call, the duty you must fulfill beckons for you. Once 3 reckons have been completed, the truth and celestial sphere will come to light. The parting will invariably come, so go acquire the strength of mind needed to that tick in that moment. The answer by Tramwest 2 has come in. The cushion made by the mysterious stranger appears to have hit the mark. The barrier surrounding Antarctic is close to a self-purification function, and the curse of it lies within ourselves. As much as it pains me to say, from the human order perspective, we are basically like a pack of outlaws right now. We ourselves are denying our entry into the pure lands of the Antarctic, or something like that. I suspected it was something like that. It wasn't an attack, but a warning. Normally the extra classes are something which are beyond human controls, so abusing them would obviously exclude us from the human order. It is sort of like we've been using weapons outlawed by international humanitarian law with reckless abandon. Guilty as can be, aren't we? Oh, sorry, should have chosen my word carefully. It was just a metaphor, nothing more. I know, thank you for clarifying, Minir. However, the fact is a fact. If Caudius was created with an equal purpose in mind, then it is only right that the Zamister experience is to be suspected of something similar wicked. In light of that, it will be up to my own deeds to demonstrate the ethics of my own being. There are plenty of futures to choose, even for someone born out of injustice. Fortunately, I've been granted the power of protection. In no way, shape, or form such a power be something wicked. You always knew that, didn't you, Mash? Well said, Mash Curelite. However, once outsider comes to learn of this incident, it's obvious you'll all be criticized for your actions. As for what I can do for them, I'm not sure, but there must be something I can do, so to this pack of fools end up being rewarded. Yeah, the Caudia that Mayor Spirit established was truly one of the evil. However, what came afterward was undoubtedly one of good. After the course of events during the Reshift experience of 2015, the Caudia director of Mayor Spirit came to an end, spiritually and physically. The only staff remaining were a dozen or so normal people who didn't know of Mayor Spirit's true intentions, as well as Roman Ackerman, spurred on by his duty to prevent the incineration of the human order. From then on, Caudia was a different organization. Rather than one meant to secure the future that the emissary had fought up and obsessed with, it was one meant to secure the manifold futures that human dreams of. And that won't be changing anytime soon. No worries if there is some sort of problem with us. We'll just have to solve it with a pluck and smarts like we always do. That person from before said there were distortions. So some singularity, like aberration, must be formed elsewhere while we were hindered by this defect. We need to prove our innocence by discovering these. We'll take care of the Antarctic afterwards. You mean we're bringing the ship about? Got it. I have no objections to that as captain. I was just thinking, we should go back to the regions where there are still buildings standing to resupply anyway. Very well, it's not like I thought things would go smoothly regardless. I suppose I will just have to keep you all company a bit longer. Let's go all out, why don't we? Given that I'm an alchemist from the Alice Institute, being treated as a criminal due to the abuse of weaponry does hit quite the sore spot. I mean, isn't like half of this, or maybe at least a third of it's kind of my fault? So of course I have no objections. I'll support you all in your research. In your search, together with Tramways 2, of course. That's the situation. How do you feel about it, Yuki? It does mean the goal at the end of our journey will have to wait a bit though. I appreciate everyone's helping us out. Great, then let's begin the Stormborder's worldwide search. You could think of it as a warm-up before we come to face with Chaldeus, since we will get the opportunity to resupply is practically all we could ask for. That said, there is no doubt and a persistent search into the unknown. The distortion accumulating throughout our battles so far, the abuse of the human order we have to confront. It doesn't sit right with me to pour the words of that person from before, but it is easy to understand, so let's go with it. Operation Ordeal Call. Once we have overcome these trials, our final destination awaits.
ノーム・カルデアは反人類史にはないものを扱いすぎたせいでそこから弾かれている。この歪みを補正しない限りカルデアスには近づけない。自らの潔白を証明する。かつてない未知の探索であるのは間違いない。これまでの戦いで積み上がったとされる歪み、我々が向き合わなくてはならない人理の咎。本来ならありえないクラスとの開口。ルーラー、アベンジャー、アルターエゴ、果たすべき生産。一つ、秩序を担う裁定者。うつろな罪を自覚する巡礼の旅。一つ、永劫の復讐者。全てを焼き尽くす温州の炎。一つ、自我から分かたれし別人格。己の内側に相対する。作戦名オーディールコール。この試練を乗り越えた先が我々の終着だ。なーに、私たちに問題があるなら今まで通り知恵と勇気で解決するだけさ。
Okay, that was it. Now for the next story, it's gonna be we have to wait. Okay. Thanks for coming to stream. Let's see who's online. Okay, bye bye.